This month, we are lowering the barrier to goal setting because I've talked to a few people who said, you know, I do want to set goals, but I don't know. It's halfway through January. I don't have anything, like never mind. And so what we're doing is we're doing 8 mini episodes this month. Each of them just one little idea that might spark something for you, that might be something you want to take and make it your goal. Or you know somebody and you're like, I'm going to send this to them because this is something they would like. And so take some, leave the rest, and they're just short, easy episodes to adopt for yourself or to send it to a friend. So the idea is take whatever you want to accomplish this year, this month, and ditch your goal. Ditch your goal and create a rhythm instead. So the way I was thinking about this was I was trying to clean out my inbox.
Okay.
And I'm kind of obsessive about, I don't like get it to 0 every day. There's some people who do that. I have no idea how they do it. But I like right now I have 450 emails in there. I really want to get it down to 150.
Oh yeah. That would kind of drive me a little nuts too.
Or at least kind of label, make sure I go through and know what needs to get a response or file them. So this was a little while back. I was trying to do one of those, clean the inbox. And I thought I was just going to sit down and like knock it out.
Yeah.
And of course I didn't. Like that's
because it was
impossible for me. And so I broke it up instead. And I did, I think it was 20 every morning. Like I would count 20 down and then I would just get through those. And it really only took a few minutes because I could just kind of focus and knock it out. And then after several days, I got through the whole thing.
Why are not more people doing this?
Well,
I am a rhythm girl. I mean, like it's the key. It makes me mad. It's like one of those things that's like
this is the key to life. But some people are more natural at it. Like runners, you know, people who are just like, I'm doing this workout routine every day.
Right. Like you're not going to just, look at me. You're not, it's so much easier to say, I'm going to knock out 20 emails than it is to say, I'm just going to clear out my inbox this week.
Well, that's my idea for the goal stuff for people's year is ditch the goal because the goal sets you up for failure, frustration, disappointment, just feeling like I can't do this.
Yeah.
Whereas a rhythm is much easier to accomplish. And over time, you actually achieve more.
Yeah.
But we're fixated on goals so much because it sells better. Like marketing is built around goals essentially. No. And so I'll mention Kendra Adachi again because she has good phrases. She said, make the problem smaller. Oh. And I think that fits here because oftentimes our goals are way too big. And so we either just give up or we never get it done. But if we just create a rhythm where we take one step every day or every week, then we'll eventually get there and actually probably accomplish even more than the goal.
Yeah.
It's like make it smaller and more doable so you don't set yourself up for so much frustration.
I could get really heated on this one, you know.
Go for it.
I know.
Bring it. Let's go.
Because I'm married to a professor where grading is so stressful. It piles up. And I know that if he just created a rhythm of 5 papers a day versus saying, I'm going to grade all 60.
But I get it. I get it on the other side. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with a rhythm. Like I'm not a routined person in my inner core.
Right.
I don't operate that way. I want variety. I want every day to be different based on how I'm feeling. That sounds...
But you're never going to feel like
I'm never going to feel like doing the same thing every day.
No.
But this is where if I get rid of my goals and I just create a couple rhythms, I can pour all of that energy that I would have put into being amazing with my goals.
I love it.
And just pour all that energy into keeping the rhythm going.
Yeah.
And what I would say, because I know who our listeners are, they miss the rhythm once and beat themselves up. Like, well, and
great call out. Mm-hmm.
No. Have grace. Like, just get back to it tomorrow. So I had this last week where I had basically all like health fitness stuff. I had given up on goals and I just created a rhythm. Yeah. I was like, I just need to get to the gym 3 times a week. I don't even care what I do there. I just need to get there.
Yeah.
Then we'll deal with what I do there. And so I'd worked through that. Then I had figured out what I do when I get there. And now I've been consistent most of the year. But last week, I don't know, it was getting dark early. It was getting cold out. Like work was busy. I just didn't have it in me.
Yeah.
And I missed 2 of the days. And in the past, that would have gotten me so down when it was like, that ruined my goal because my goal was 30 out of 30. It's like, no. It's just a rhythm. I'll get back to it next week. And so there's something about that perspective change that completely changes the game.
Yep.
I mean, rhythms, it's like content creation. For us, for anyone with a business out there, it's a treadmill. You can't approach it with a goals mindset. It'll never work. You got to have just like a block of time each week where you can get into the flow and you can get it done. Or maybe it's for like social media, looking at it or responding to stuff. You just have these like rhythms of blocks of time. Or the thing that I'm always working on with teams is a weekly planning rhythm, where it's the one time a week where you get all the other things figured out. Just once, just one rhythm where you figure out all the other stuff, set priorities, check in on goals, get the calendar in order, connect as a team. That's really all a high functioning team needs, is one rhythm. But when we set these goals of like, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to accomplish that, then we don't, and we feel defeated. Just to make the point, the idea is take your goals and just turn it into a rhythm, because we know that goals fail, but rhythms over time actually exceed your goals. So here's, the truth. I actually do set goals. We talk about the 7 different life categories. So in December, I set 7 goals, one for each of those categories. And they are they're like quantifiable, they're numbers, but for each of them, I just turn it into a rhythm instead.
Yep.
So yes, I want to accomplish certain things with my health and fitness, but I've turned it into a rhythm instead of the goal. So I'll accomplish the goals, but I'll get there through the rhythms. Okay, part of the idea of these mini episodes this month is lowering the barrier to goal setting, because we want to do it, but it's hard to get there. So I just want to give you permission. If something sparked for you in this episode, you can take that and leave the rest. Like ditch some of it and take the part that works. So some of you have been listening from the beginning when my co-host Tommy Thompson would talk about this idea. I remember I was talking to him about Tony Robbins, and I said, Tommy, the problem with Tony Robbins is he just feels like such a fraud, a fake to me. He's too much hype, but I do know that there's like some good stuff he has. And Tommy said, well, yeah, just take some and leave the rest. Like what's wrong with reading his book and ditching most of it? It doesn't mean you're associating yourself 100% with him because you read his book. And I just found that so helpful and freeing, because I felt like I wasn't allowed to listen to that person's content if I'm not 100% on board. Same thing here. If part of it resonates, take that and leave the rest. Or hey, if you don't really love us, but you like something you heard, take that and leave us at the door. But you get the idea. And then if anything resonates for a friend would appreciate it, or maybe needs to hear this episode, please send it to them, because that's how people find out about the podcast.